Hey guys, welcome back. It's Missy. Today we're in a different part of my house because it's raining and your girl doesn't have those fancy lights and it's real dark in the other room. So if you're wondering, there you go. Today we'll be talking about understanding the mind of a narcissist and why they use tactics and abusive behaviors that they do. The way I explain narcissism is that it's on a scale. You can have some traits too, you can have the full, you're right there? You can have some traits too, you can have the full-blown disorder. And each narcissist is different. They each use different tactics. You can have narcissistic tendencies. It's still important to be aware when someone has narcissistic tendencies to know how to handle them. Something that all narcissists have in common is they lack the ability to self-reflect. Self-reflection is when you can look at yourself and be able to look at situations and see where you are wrong or things that you need to change and do differently. They are unable to self-reflect. They cannot see what they're doing. They cannot improve without self-reflection. You can't work with someone that does not self-reflect. This is why narcissists don't change their behavior, even if they're alone. No matter how many times you tell them what they're doing is bothering you, it doesn't matter. They don't look at themselves. They only see what you're doing. They say you're crazy. They say you're the problem. They don't look at themselves and see, how can I improve? What did I do to this situation that has caused this? They don't have that. Whether they have this trait or that trait, it's not as important as understanding if a person can self-reflect or not. If a person cannot self-reflect and they have no interest in learning how to self-reflect, that's a huge red flag of a potential narcissist, along with all the other traits that they do, all the abusive things they do. There are three things that all narcissists have in common. They're very selfish and self-centered. Everything's about them. They care very much about their self-image and making people see this false reality of themselves. They lack the ability to self-reflect. And the third thing is that they always want constant control. Narcissists are not mentally healthy people. A lot of times people will say, I don't understand, why can't they be normal? Why is nothing I'm doing working? I try to change myself in so many different ways. Why can't I help them? Because what you're doing is you're trying to have a healthy relationship with an unhealthy person. Narcissists are people that are stuck in the age they are abused at. That's why they will do a lot of childish things, like throw tantrums. They struggle with empathy. Kids struggle with empathy as well. Kids don't necessarily have, it's all about them all the time. Same thing with a narcissist, it's all about them all the time. They have a hard time thinking about others. They did not develop the skill to self-reflect. Now, because as a kid, they endured abuse, they developed an ego to protect themselves. An ego is a sense of importance. So because no one else made them important, they made themselves important. When in reality, underneath their ego, they're very insecure and very fragile. In order to protect themselves from their insecurities and how fragile they are, they've built this huge ego. And their ego is really bruised. They never develop the skills to help heal their bruised ego. And because they don't have the ability to self-reflect, they don't care to, because it's everyone else's problem. Everyone else did this to them. It's not them. You can have a huge ego and not be a narcissist, just to make it clear. So if you notice yourself, you have a huge ego, don't worry, doesn't mean you're a narcissist. It just means that you most likely were abused as a kid. There are three different types of narcissism: covert, overt, and vindictive. Covert narcissists are the most sneakiest and the most manipulative. They are the wolves in sheep's clothing. They're the hardest to point out because since they are so manipulative, they look good on the outside because they give you this false reality, but on the inside, they are extremely abusive. Overt are the big bullies. They're the ones that are outspoken. They're the easiest to be able to say, that's a narcissist. Vindictive narcissists will do anything to destroy their victim. They are the most dangerous. There's a lot of confusion with narcissist. because people will say, I don't understand. Sometimes they have empathy, or sometimes they show that they're loving and caring, and then other times they're not. With narcissists, it's very push and pull. They need to confuse you and make them think they're not that bad so that they can show the good side as much as they can show the bad side, to confuse you, to gaslight you. It's the cycle of abuse. If they were always awful, then they would always lose their victims. Narcissists are not sociopaths where they don't have any emotion and they just copy others' emotions. Narcissists are very, very hurt, abused people that are now abusive. So they have emotion, they feel things, they just think everyone's out to get them and that they are a victim. They are destructive because they feel like they need to protect themselves at everyone else's cost. Here are some things narcissists do that makes it hard to be around them. Here are some of their tactics. Narcissists will gaslight you. Gaslighting is meant to take away your sanity so you are much easier to manipulate and control. So something will be happening and they'll tell you, no, it's not, that didn't happen. Or they will try to convince you you're this certain person, so you go about thinking that you're this bad guy or that you're this terrible person, when in reality that's not who you are at all. They're stripping away who you are so they can make you who they want you to be, and they can control and manipulate you to do exactly what they want. They want that praise, they want someone they can boss around, they want someone they can hurt because they are hurting. They want you to fit into their false reality that they have created. And they will take a lot of digs. They will put you down. You may be at a family event and maybe your aunt and her daughter is not getting along, and your narcissistic mom will say, oh yeah, that's just like my daughter. She's a brat just like that. You had nothing to do with the situation. Oh yeah, my son, he's so disrespectful just like that. Taking a dig at you when you didn't do anything and embarrassing you in front of others, putting you down. Every selfless act they do is for their benefit. So anytime they do something for you, whether it's buy you something, do something for you, take care of you in some sort of way, it looks good. It looks like, oh wow, they're such a caring, selfless person. No, it's for their benefit. It's because they need to be needed, or it's for an image purpose. They want to look good. Their intent is not to help you. Their intention is to help themselves, to make them feel good, to make them look good. You can't reason with a narcissist. In healthy relationships, you're able to tell them what's bothering you and they will acknowledge you. With narcissists, if you tell them what's bothering you, you'll be punished for it. You will be stonewalled. You will be name called. It will be turned around and made you believe that it's you that's causing these issues. They are incapable of seeing your point of view. They take it as an attack, so they will start attacking you rather than giving you the acknowledgement you need or letting you know that things will change. Narcissists need constant validation and attention. So when the attention is on someone else, they will bring it back to them. Even if it's something negative, if someone goes up to them and shares something negative, they may at first give their advice because narcissists think they know everything and that they have the best advice, but they soon enough will turn it around and make it about them. Maybe they've had it worse, or they would deal with the situation better, or they would completely disregard everything and just make it about them entirely. They want people to constantly validate them and say, oh, you had it so hard, or oh, you're so strong. They need it to fill their ego. They do not take criticism. Criticism with a narcissist is a huge no-no. That is the biggest offender. That is where you will endure the most abuse. You will be name called. You will be made to feel like you're crazy. You will be made to feel like you're the abusive one. Criticism takes them back to their abusive past. It makes it feel like they're dealing with their abusive parent. So whether you're a child of a narcissist or a partner of a narcissist, anytime you try to let that person know something's bothering you about them, you're not allowed. Narcissists need to be needed. Narcissists feel they are the best caretakers. That's why narcissists, they could be therapists, they could be doctors, they could be lawyers, judges. There's narcissists in every field because they like to feel needed. It makes them feel important. This is something especially happens when you grow up with a narcissistic parent, where they will take away you feeling like you can do things on your own, and they will make you feel like you need them. It's a lot easier to do that to a child. Then they grow up becoming codependent, and then they wind up in relationships with narcissists who again make them feel like they need them. The biggest thing narcissists do, they try to control you. They will try to control who you hang out with, what you look like, what you're acting like, what you're interested in, what you're spending your money on, what kind of job you have. It makes them feel important being able to tell their victim what they can and cannot do. It makes them feel empowered. They will misrepresent your thoughts and feelings. So you may share something about yourself and they may go out of their way to make it seem like it's so absurd and you are so out of your mind crazy. They often will act like they know what you're thinking and feeling. You may go to them and say, hey, someone's been really picking on me. And they'll say, what makes you think they're picking on you? Don't you think maybe you're the problem? They will twist your words to make it seem like you're meaning something you absolutely are not. This again has to do with their false reality and thinking that you fit into this box that they have made you fit into. They think they are everyone's teachers. They think that they have the answers to everything. They're so smart. They're so intelligent. They are God's gift to earth. They think they need to constantly teach you They think they need to constantly teach everyone a lesson because they're here and everyone else is here. Everyone else is a child. They think they're Jesus. They think they're Buddha. They think everyone else is their disciples. They also, a lot of times, they'll teach one thing, but do the complete opposite. So they may say, keep your room clean. It's disgusting to have a messy room. And then their room is a mess with garbage and clothes everywhere. They will turn the subject onto themselves. So you may be talking about a topic and then all of a sudden they bring up something about themselves when it had nothing to do with them. When you're having happy moments, they'll make it about them. When you're having sad moments, they'll make it about them. When you have achievements, they'll make it about them. That's especially when you grow up with a narcissistic parent. Your achievements always are because of them. Narcissists really manipulate everyone around them. And I just recently made a video about manipulators, which I will link below. Narcissists use people as tools to get what they want. And what they want is praise and control. Narcissists invade boundaries. They want to test to see what they can get away with. Boundaries to a narcissist don't exist because they view their victims as not even a person with their own thoughts and feelings. When you try to set boundaries, they will try to make you feel guilty. They will make you feel like you're doing something wrong because boundaries mean losing a victim. They may go through your things and then when you get upset, they'll say, no, it's okay, we're family. We shouldn't keep secrets. It will make you feel like boundaries shouldn't exist. Boundaries are a negative thing to them. Narcissists deflect blame. When you bring up something that they did, they will turn it around. Even something as simple as not vacuuming. They'll say, hey, you didn't vacuum. I didn't vacuum because you were giving me a hard time. And it will go into bigger things like, I'm acting like this because of you. You pushed me to this. I wouldn't act like this if it wasn't for you. Like I had mentioned earlier, narcissists have that push and pull effect. They're nice and they're mean. So there's this constant hot and cold effect. You never know what you're gonna get. Something you could do one day. Something you do one day could be okay, and if you do the exact same thing the next day, you could be in big trouble. Sometimes they're really warm and funny, and they're actually okay to be around, and other days, you're holding your breath because you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know if you're gonna be called names. You don't know if you're gonna be attacked. You don't know if you're gonna be made to feel crazy. This is what causes you to have that walking on eggshells feel. And then when they see you being distant, they will start to love bomb you. They will give you the things that you've maybe been asking for, or they may give you a fake apology to make you feel like you're getting what you want, but in actuality, you're not at all. Those are some things that narcissists do. They will shame you. They will control you. They will minimize you. They will gaslight you, and they will turn people against you. They will try to make you do things that you don't want to do. They will try to make you feel ways you don't want to feel. Is there a chance that they could get better? It's very low. And the reason why it's low is because, like I said earlier, they lack self-reflection and they lack empathy. And without those things, you can't get better. You don't ask for help because you don't think anything's wrong. You don't think anything is wrong with you. So just know it's not you. There's nothing you can do differently except for focus on yourself. That's the only thing you can do. You can't help these people. You can't do anything for them. You need to focus on yourself and do things for yourself. The only thing you can do with a narcissist is respond to them differently and form relationships with healthy people. You can't do anything differently to make you guys have a healthy relationship. And I will go further into having parents as a narcissist. It's much differently having a narcissistic parent than having a partner as a narcissist. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and don't hesitate to share. We really need to bring more awareness to understanding narcissists. There's a lot of my clients have narcissistic partners and they've just felt like it was normal. It's not normal. Relationships shouldn't be like that. Leave a comment below if you've had any experiences you would like to share. Until next time, bye guys. Thanks for watching. Where you going? You're under arrest. It's covert, one is overt, and one is victim. Even if you no matter how many times you tell them what you're doing is... Okay, Google, define tactic. Okay, Google, define reflection. Okay, Google, define reflect. Okay, Google, define self-reflect.
According to Wikipedia,